shit at all. It's weird. I don't. It's so strange.
Well, and like if you ever like go to like a Tulsa football game, whether it's like Broken Arrow or a Wasso playing, like it's like there's people always are like, oh, they recruit those players, even though they're not supposed to.
So.
And Owasso's team, like football team, I think they win state champs usually pretty often. Like, I think in last year's 6A championship, it was Santa Fe versus Owasso, and Owasso won it.
I don't even know where Owasso is.
Tulsa.
Is it like a suburb in Tulsa or like an area in Tulsa?
Yeah, Tulsa's made up of like Bixby, Broken Arrow, Owasso, probably one or two more.
Huh.
Yeah.
Tulsa's weird. It's got a lot of like little parts.
Yeah. And I mean, Oklahoma City too, because you got, Mustang, and then you got Yukon.
Oh yeah, people do consider that part of Oklahoma City, like the metro. The Oklahoma City metro that spans like the entire center of the state.
Well,
it's like the OKC county or the city lines go into parts of those places.
It's so weird. Yeah.
I read a whole book about it, about like Oklahoma. It's called Boomtown. It's about like Oklahoma and its founding, and it talks about how I think Oklahoma City is the largest metro area, or it was at that time. By land, yeah.
Huh.
I've actually read half of that book. I guess I should finish that book.
I listened to the audio. Did I listen to the audiobook? It's worth it, I think. It's at least interesting.
Finishing books is challenging. I have a hard time finishing books. Okay, what are we on? We're on 7.3, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We just got practice today with 7.3. So that's it, pretty boring. Do we have numbers left over still?
Yes, on Tuesday you gave us all our problems and we're supposed to have them finished.
Okay, good.
Oh, yes.
And then arguments too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Raise your hand if you remember your number and have done your problem. Okay, good. Let's see, what do I want to start with? Let's start with those arguments. First, I should say something interesting. My mom sent me this. She found this in my grandfather's attic. And it's a blue board game from 1965. And it's called WFF. What is WFF? Well-formed formula. It's called Shaker WFF. So it's Shake a Well-Formed Formula. And it's a series of board games, and this is just like the beginner version, it's just a dice game, made by a logic professor at, I think, Yale Law School. And it actually, I'm blown away by it. The little tiny instruction manual is like 50 pages, and 30 of the pages is like an introduction to logic. So you have to learn the basics of making well-formed formulas to play the game. And it literally teaches you how to make well-formed formulas, like what you're doing. It's amazing. It's so cool. I mean, it's complicated. I spent like 4 hours yesterday reading through it. And it's so just like dryly written that I took notes on it and made my own instruction manual to play it. And no one will play it with me. My wife will play it with me. But it's like really, it's crazy. And this is just like the introduction. And then he has a meta board game called WFF and Proof. And it's like this times 10. He said it's like 10 times more complex than the instruction manual. And then you're also, it's like a board game where you make proofs, or you do proofs. You roll dice, and they're not normal dice. They're dice with sentence symbols, proposition symbols, and operators. And you roll them, and in this one you have to make the longest possible operator, or well-formed formula possible. And if you do the longest possible, you're given a dice roll, you get a point. And if then another person evaluates you, and they're like, you could have done something longer, and if they're right, then you lose a point. But then the proof game does that, but then it expands on it because then you have to prove things from it. And like, oh man, it sounds like my dream game. Extremely complicated, but I'll pass this little manual around.
That's so cool. It was your grandfather or your father?
It was my grandfather, yeah. He had this, I don't think, it was brand new when my mom handed it to me. Like, I don't think it's ever been played, so I don't think he knew how to do the logic.
I don't think anyone but a philosopher would want to play that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys might like it. You're definitely capable of it now.
It honestly sounds kind of fun.
But the instruction manual is written like an academic paper.
Ugh.
So it's in like Times New Roman font. It has footnotes in Chicago citation.
No.
Literally, like the instruction manual is like, this is based on this kind of logic, footnote, and it's like, you know, a couple of logic books. And it's like, wow, this is the coolest board game I've ever heard of. Yeah, anyway, so you can pass that around if anyone wants to look at it. If anyone wants to play it, let me know. I'll teach you how to play it. I have yet to find somebody willing to play it. But it does, remember I told you there's different ways of doing like propositional logic? Well, in 1965, that professor was probably like 50 or 60, right? So he was born in probably, I'm guessing at the latest, the 1910s. Our system of doing logic that we're learning wasn't around yet. So he's using this really cumbersome system of logic where instead of like operators like arrow, if you want to say bad marker, if you want to say P then Q, it's in Polish notation. P implies Q. If you want to say P and Q, P and Q, and then different letters for different operators. Just weird stuff. But it's really cool, I don't know. He designed it for teaching logic, but also in the manual he says, it's to teach logic and to have fun. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. Okay, so who wants to go first with your arguments? And I forgot we don't have a document cam in this room, so if you put yours up, it's going to be long, right?
Yeah, but I can like shorten some of it, like just put like abbreviations.
Okay, if you want, I can teach you. Have I already taught you how to do a key yet? What you can do is you can give your argument in symbols, right? Let's just say that's a premise. And in the corner, you give what's called a key, which is you put each symbol, and then you say what proposition the symbol stands for. So it's like H is I like cats, and P is I eat poop or something, I don't know, right? And you give a key instead of having to write the whole thing out. It's just kind of like like a key for a map or something. So if that shortened it, you can do that too. All right, who wants to start by sharing one of their arguments?
Well, I suppose I can.
Come on up. Here's a good marker.
Thank you. Were you expecting serious?
No.
Okay, good.
We have one about Parks and Rec, so.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, that was pretty serious, though. I mean, it was a serious conclusion.
Okay, I'll have to do the abbreviated form.
Gracias.
Look at that monstrosity. Yeah.
I thought she was talking about my writing.
Talking about you.
If you
Monstrosity.
make fun of my arrows, I would make fun of your writing.
Yeah. Hey, Sophia's rabid today. Doesn't it seem dark in here?
Yeah. It's because the shades, I think, are down.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Usually are.
I'm too lazy to put them up.
Well, then it gets that glare on the whiteboard, so
Right.
there's no warning.
Nice long argument, too. 5 premises.
It seems pretty simple though.
Yeah, but it's still long.
Okay, so
It's still a monstrosity.
H is if a rhino is hungry.
do the proof off to the right if you want.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, I have to erase anything.
And C is it will chase you. R is you should run. G is you should give it your sandwich.
That Polish notation stuff is hard to read without like parentheses or anything.
Yeah. Oh, it gets like worse too because then instead of parentheses they add in apostrophes, and it's like that. Come on, that's like so unnatural looking. Like, I hate it. Did I ever show you guys Gottlob Frege's way of doing propositional logic? I'll show you there. It's horrible. Like Polish notation's bad. People still use it though because it's really useful in math.
Fix that
But
arrow.
it gets worse.
Which one?
The one you just drew.
Oh, it
It
is
only
pretty
has-
bad.
How do you know that's an arrow? Maybe it's something else.
What would it be?
A little snake friend?
It's a finger.
There you go. Okay, so read us this argument in English.
Okay, so if a rhino is hungry and it sees you holding a sandwich, then it will chase you. If a rhino chases you, then you should either run or give it your sandwich. The rhino is hungry, does see you holding a sandwich, but you want to keep your sandwich. So you should either run or the rhino will kill you. So to prove that, we've got a hypothetical syllogism with those first two. So the rhino is hungry and it sees you holding a sandwich, you should either run or give it your sandwich. Then I can do a conjunction with 3 and 4. So I do have H and S. If I have H and S, then I have R or G by exponents. I have not G because I cut the sandwich, so I must have R. And that's a disjunctive syllogism. And finally, I can just add that K on there. But it's logical because yes, the rhino would kill you.
Nice. Good job. That's great. Everybody snap
Thank you.
when good job.
Oh, Mike is not here for me to give him a hard time
I
about
know.
cleaning the board.
Okay, so I will say I've got two, one's a criticism, but it's very minor. The other one is not really a criticism, it's just a note, an interesting note. The first one is that when you were giving your key, you represented, say, S as, I can't remember what you said it was. What was S?
It was if it sees you holding a sandwich.
If it sees you holding a sandwich. Technically, it's just the rhino sees you holding a sandwich.
Oh, right.
If is a part of the arrow, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? That's it. That's the only criticism.
Okay.
It's a valid argument, and it's a sound argument, at least, in this little world we're imagining of you having a rhino, right? The conclusion, the other remark I have is that the conclusion R or K, run or it will kill you, is expressed as like, well, there's two alternatives, and if you don't run, it's going to kill you, right? Now, technically, that's correct because you can add to it. But the argument itself actually doesn't establish that if you don't run, it will kill you. Does that make sense? So it's just a technicality that you can add it, but it's technically right and valid.
You just don't derive the K at all. And so it's
Yeah.
not logically,
But
it
I'm
doesn't
not,
follow.
but it does though, because the addition rule works, right? I've explained it several times. It does follow validly R or K, run or it will kill you. But I think what follows is that R is you should run, right? Does that make
Yes.
sense? So what follows is you should run or the rhino kills you. In which case it's not the same thing as saying if you don't run, the rhino's going to kill you, right?
Right.
It's if you shouldn't run, the rhino will. So it's kind of weird.
So
You
both
see
could
what I'm
be
saying?
true, like you could run and the rhino still kills you.
Yeah. But I guess what I'm saying is there's nothing really in it that shows that the rhino, if you didn't run, would kill you. It's just a technicality though. I'm not exactly sure what to say about that because it's clearly valid. And let's just imagine that it's sound, right? What is the criticism there then? I don't know exactly what to say. Does that make sense what I'm
I
saying?
get what you're saying, like
It's
just
weird.
that it comes out of thin air.
Yeah. That's kind of why the addition rule seems cheap, but technically it works. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. Anybody have
It's sort
anything?
of like, if you don't run, it's kind of implied that you get killed, I guess, so it's like a hidden implication.
Right. So I guess we could put something in the premises and just avoid doing the ad altogether. Like maybe we could say, if you don't run, then we'll kill you. I don't know.
Yeah. Not R then K.
Yeah, right.
Or-
And then that would follow, right?
Or you could do like, if you don't give it your sandwich or you don't run, you'll be killed, or you'll give it your sandwich or run, or else you'll be killed, or something like that.
Something like that. But again, it's still valid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I'm saying it's not a criticism because I don't exactly know exactly how to describe why it feels funny.
I
Does that make
think just
sense?
the word
Yeah.
should is kind of throwing off. If it was just you run from the rhino
Right.
or it kills you would maybe
That's a
make
good
it more clear.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have, if you have not R then K, and you also have R or K, wouldn't those get you the same result if you had not R? Because if you have not R, then you have K, and if you have not R, then you must have K.
Okay, so yeah, so are you asking, is this the same as this?
I think so. I can see that they're not the same thing, because you
They
could
are.
have both R and K, right?
Yes, but these are actually the same thing. This is one of the rules we'll learn 7.4, implication, material implication. Because so, if this is true, then if I have not R, then I have K. Well, if this is true, if I don't have R, if I have not R, then I have K, right? They're expressing the same thing.
Oh, I see. And then
Yeah.
you have not K, and you have not R. So
Right. My issue, what feels funny to me, isn't that this doesn't follow. Let's just say in your premises you included not R then K. Well, then this would follow, right? And it wouldn't feel cheap. But there's something about using the addition rule to get it, where K is nowhere in here. You're just adding it on, and it's technically valid. But I don't really know, something feels weird about it when you start putting it in real English words. It's technically valid. If we assume all the premises are true, it's sound, but is that really following? I don't know how to explain it. I'll have to think about that.
maybe
more.
the weird part is that you're holding a sandwich and you give it to a rhino.
That is true.
I don't know. Have you ever been to Africa? It might not be that weird.
Maybe you're at the zoo and you're
Yeah.
looking over and it's just looking at you and it smells the meat.
Maybe you fall into the pit and are eating a sandwich waiting to be rescued because you packed a lunch and the rhino wants it. I don't know.
But then would
Not
it turn
inconceivable.
into another monopoly situation?
Okay, good job though. No, that was great. Valid sound in the imaginary world. So good. Who wants to go next? Tamara? Let's see.
So what caused you to choose that situation?
It's the first thing that popped into my head.
Hey.
That's a weird place.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. That's the first thing that pops in your head.
So we're gonna do the key over here first.
Smart.
I know, I am smart.
That's some outside the box thinking. I literally stayed in that box.
That's a rectangle, really. I mean, I guess a rectangle could be a box.
It could be a box.
I think of a square when I think of a box. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Because a rectangle is a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square.
Wait, a square is a rectangle?
Yeah, but a rectangle is not a square.
Is a rectangle just anything with four sides?
And
Yes.
4 right angles.
Oh,
Yeah.
huh. The more you know. I guess I was just thinking of a rectangle as having 4 sides and 4 right angles, but 2 of the sides are uneven with the other 2.
It's
Okay.
just like the
So you
opposite. The
could
square
do
is
the-
the specialized
You
rectangle.
could do like an antecedent and consequent, like one necessitates the other, but one is sufficient for the other.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how I thought of that.
See, good.
It's the square and rectangle.
Applying logic to rectangles. That's progress.
For some reason, makes more sense to me than the cat and meow thing. Because I've heard that more about the squares and rectangles, I guess, in that way.
Sophia's putting a poem about girlfriend visiting on Friday night, staying the night, and then there's a curfew involved? What is this argument going to lead up to?
Oh, you'll see. Again, it was the first thing that
You're
popped into
drowning?
my head.
Is it from personal experience?
No, it is not.
Okay, just wondering.
Is the rhino from personal experience?
Actually.
You'd be surprised at what Noah gets up to.
All right, so here's our wonderful key, and I went ahead and underlined the letters that I used to use the premise letters so you can see a bit clearly. But let's read it off before as we put it up. So the initial argument is going to be 5 premises. So, if your girlfriend visits on Friday, then she will want to stay the night. If she stays the night, then she won't meet curfew. Not C. If she does not meet curfew, then she will be grounded and she will not be allowed to see you. Your girlfriend won't meet curfew. She won't stay the night. Therefore, your girlfriend does not visit and she will be grounded.
Okay. Yeah.
So our first step that we can do is
Real quick, valid or invalid?
Seems valid.
I was thinking, I'd have to see the proof, because I'm confused on number.
Raise your hand if you think it's valid. Raise your hand if you think it's invalid. Raise your hand if you're not sure. Okay, yeah. Let's do the proof.
Let's do the proof then.
I like doing those votes because then it makes you feel bad when you're wrong.
Yeah.
My teaching style is through shame.
So first we're going to do G not S by 3, 4 modus ponens. So if we look at 3 and 4, so we have not C to G and not S. 4 gives us not C. So because of that we have G and S, number 6. Then number 7, we're going to do G through simplifying number 6. Then number 8, we're going to do not V through 1, 5 modus tollens. So if we look at that 1 and 5, so V to N, we have not N, therefore we have not 3 through modus tollens. Then number 9, we're going to get not V and G from combining number 7 and number 8 through a conjunction.
Good. Great. That's very good. Good argument.
Thank you.
Okay, it's valid. Is it sound? Was that supposed to be clapping?
No, I always get it wrong.
But you always draw the little friend so good.
That makes up for
A
it.
redeeming quality. It's hard to see these things off the top of your head, right? At first I thought invalid, and then I saw, oh no, valid.
But
I
can you
don't
not
see.
get C from
not get C.
Oh, no, I see
Yeah.
it, never mind. I'm using it backwards.
You see it,
I did that with my own, and I
get it, you
noticed this.
see it. The letter C.
Well, would that be a contradiction? Are you saying there would be a contradiction?
No, you're right. I was trying to use, for some reason I was combining monotonins and monosyllables.
That's what I thought at first too. That's why I was thinking that it was unsound. Okay, so just in this hypothetical world, right? I mean, this isn't sound. The status of an argument as sound or unsound changes depending on the circumstances, right? Because the truth value of propositions changes depending on when and where the proposition is uttered. Or if you're someone like Frege, the famous logician, instead of saying that propositions change their truth value, it's that when you say a sentence, an identical sentence at different times in different contexts, they actually express different propositions. Because he didn't want to say that propositions could change its truth value. Anyway.
That's confusing.
Yeah, well, he thought propositions were real things that existed out there, and there's basically an infinite number of them. Yeah. Logic gets weird at the meta levels. So let's just assume that all the premises are true, then it's sound, right? Because it's valid, plus all the premises are true. Of course, if I were to say this about my girlfriend, it wouldn't be sound, because my girlfriend doesn't have curfew, right? Hopefully, or I'd get in trouble. Yeah, so good. I mean, I don't see any problems with it at all. Does anybody else have any comments?
I guess what I was just confused about was I was just thinking, I think, like, beyond the scope of this argument. So I was also like, well, how can she be grounded if she, or how can she not meet curfew if she doesn't go visit, or if she doesn't stay the night? But then I don't know.
On 3?
For 4 and 5.
4 and
it's just
5,
like
yeah.
she doesn't stay the night, but she still doesn't meet curfew.
So she's not going to meet curfew, and she's not going to stay the night.
So then we don't know what she did on Friday.
Yeah, she might have
She just
been
did
at someone else's house.
Yeah.
Or maybe she was just out at Taco Bell all
So
morning.
this is just a bad alibi.
But the reason
Yeah.
Okay.
that we don't know what the reason was for not being the curfew, but it wasn't because she stayed the night at your particular place.
Exactly, yeah.
That's just not the reason.
So it still works, but now you've got to figure out what your girlfriend's up to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good job, Sophia. That's great.
Oh my God, claps, not snaps.
Okay, sorry, everybody snap.
There we go.
I can't snap. I can't do it.
Because you gotta make it snappy.
I literally cannot. Oh, there you go. It feels like my finger's gonna break. All right, does anybody else have an argument you want to share? No, we're done. No one wants to do it. Anyone?
I mean, I could share another one, but
No, you've done enough with your.
I mean, I felt like that too.
Yeah.
Give someone
Anyone?
else a chance.
I think it's just a free opportunity. Okay, let's do practice then. Okay, who wants to go first putting a rules? Rules? What am I saying? A problem up. My God.
Like one of the ones you assigned,
Yeah, like last time. In class.
I guess I can.
Come on down.
Play the Price is Right.
Oh yeah, I should get that going. Wait, you can't come down yet.
We gotta have Price is Right in
I've
Jeopardy.
got to have the prices right thing. Yeah, don't move.
Don't breathe.
It's on Twitch.
All right, come on now.
Okay. I'm actually gonna need this with me.
Never gets old. up there, I'm not sure which is which. Not a very juicy marker. That's a good way to
This one
describe
is
it.
erasing it.
Oh, cool.
Inverse marker.
Yeah.
So I guess those two should just get trashed.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a huge.
That's a much better one. I think that's the one I brought today. The cleaning people in my other classrooms have been stealing my chalk. I bought a whole pack of chalk and put it in that classroom, and then I came in today and everything was like clean, and then the chalk was just like gone. Like they just took the chalk. It was a nice color too.
That's one.
Chalk is a hot
Who
ticket
knows?
item.
I know. Not a whole lot of people can afford the 99 cents that it costs. Now.
Well, it might be because it's probably upsold here for like $5.
Yeah.
Is it actually?
I don't know,
Oh,
but I know
okay.
like some campuses, like the Crayola chalk, it's like 99 cents everywhere else, but on campus it's like $5.
Yeah. I know when I was a grad student here and I had to buy pencils one time, it was like $1.25 a pencil at a bookstore. I was like, what?
I had to buy a charger at the bookstore and it was $100.
What?
What?
Like a computer charger?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it was not like a smart decision that I made, but I couldn't really go back on it.
Right. But it was a decision you made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's made.
We learn.
Thank
Just
you
like
for
the
supporting a
girlfriend not
university.
saying
Exactly.
that.
Well, like the rhino. With the
Maybe
sandwich.
she missed curfew because she got stuck in a ditch on her way home.
That's true. Or maybe she was on the way to bring you a delicious Subway sandwich and then ran into a rhino and it killed her. And that's why she's not visiting you anymore.
That's logically sound.
We just like
Yeah.
combine people's problems.
That would be
and
fun, trying to
multiply
combine
them.
it.
Maybe
If she's
it's-
too-
Parks and Rec was the best show.
Yeah, and that proves Parks and Rec is the best show.
Because somehow that's an episode of Parks and Rec we just make into the canon. We need to make a proof with Bernard.
Yes. I'll get started on it.
He's just the stand-in person every time. We need to give a name to a person.
I do
You
not.
had a hat on today, right?
Huh?
You had a hat on today?
Yeah, I did.
He's
A
a
beautiful
farmer
hat.
now. Which number of the book is this?
19.
19.
Big one.
All right, walk us through this one and explain step by step what you've done.
Alright.
Explain what you did.
Okay, so first, none of these are what's given, a few of these first two. So then, using the addition rule, you can add anything on there, whatever you want, I guess, is how that works. And then, switch them around with the, is it commutative?
Commutativity.
Commutativity.
Yeah.
Then, using the, is that associative? Association?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so-
One of those. Just pretty much switch the parentheses.
Good.
And then on 6, that, switching the parentheses gives us the exact same thing that's up here.
Good.
And so then we know just because of NP that it's going to be, that there's no G, not G. Not G, gotta be M. There you go.
Yeah, beautiful. Good job. Okay, great. I mean, look how good we're doing with these proofs. I'm proud of this class. I like what I see. Okay, good job.
Thank
We
you.
can clap or snap, whatever you want to do.
How's your other classes doing?
Improvement in the in-person class. Online class is an animal. Like, yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. I think the online classes are just so unmotivated to do the work because they're online. Yeah, I mean, same materials and everything, but man, I just can't get them to literally do the work. It's crazy. Okay, let's go next. Come on, baby. Another one. Bow again. No.
Give us your best Vanna White impression.
Who's that?
That's the Wheel of Fortune, like
Oh.
woman. There you go.
Nice. Very dainty.
This is 14. You couldn't read.
That's a big 14. I'll say this while I was writing this. I was just thinking about this morning. Next semester, the Fossey department is not offering symbolic logic, which is one up from this class. So if anybody on the off chance did want to take that, and you need to do it next semester, we can always do an independent study on it. Usually you talk to me or talk to the department if you wanted to do that. Again, I don't know how many people actually want to do more advanced logic, but if you want to do it, that's the option. And then I think the next time they're going to offer it is probably next fall. I don't know if I'll still be at OSU. I don't know what I'll be doing. But hopefully they find someone to replace me at the very least if I leave. I don't know who else would teach it though. Currently they don't have anybody that I don't think can teach it other than me. So we'll see. But if you want to take symbolic logic, I'm more than happy to do a study with you next semester. Or you can just wait to see who they hire. I don't know when they will do that, but who knows? Has anybody taken the test yet? Test 3?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
It was pretty
It was
good,
pretty
though
easy.
a comma did, because of that, where it was a comma screwed me over.
Yeah. Okay, you'll get points for that, of
Okay.
course. Yeah,
I
I'll
was
fix
assuming I
that.
would, I was just like, that,
Well, assumptions make asses out of you and me.
True.
You know what I mean? Is that the saying? That's a
Yeah.
dumb saying. Anyway, but yeah, no, I'll give it to you. Okay, walk us through this one.
So, hold on. That's why it looked weird.
Ah, okay. I was wondering.
Alright. So, we have this. We Des Moines it. And you change that, put the sign, change that.
Beautiful.
You S to B, B to K, so S to K. And then you simplify number 4. You get not K and not J. And then you modus tollens from the K to the S and you get not S. And then you combine the not S and the not J. Conjugate. Or no. Conjunction.
Conjunction. Conjugate is fine, those are the same thing, yeah. Is conjugate the same thing as conjunction?
No, that's like changing verbs.
Yeah, that is changing the form of a word, never mind. No, you should just say conjunction then, don't listen to me. Okay, good, I don't see any problems with that. Anybody see anything? Okay, good. Good job, that's great. I think that we are in a very good place in this class overall. Raise your hand if you still have a problem to do. See how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, yeah,
What was
5.
the question?
If you still have a problem I assigned you, you went last time, right?
I did my own.
I don't think anyone did the homework ones last
Yeah,
time.
we didn't get homework.
We just did the
Yeah, we ended
arguments.
with their own arguments.
Oh, you're right, you're right. Okay, yeah, who wants to go next time? I mean, do we want to keep doing this? Is anyone bored? Raise your hand if you're bored with this. Raise your hand if you think you understand proofs enough you don't need more practice in class. Raise your hand if you want practice, if you want to see more problems go up.
I mean, I'd be fine with like another race or something.
Okay, let's do something more fun then.
Yeah.
How about that? For race. We'll make a problem. Maybe I could just find one in the book. But you've done 7.3 already.
Yeah,
I can't
but
pull
I
from
think
there.
it has 35 problems and we only had to go to 30.
Oh, okay, good.
So there's a couple left.
Wow, so you're telling me you didn't do all of them?
That's not what was written on the assignment, so I didn't. I do the bare minimum sometimes.
Sure.
Sophia, I disagree with something that you said.
What?
Because you said there's a couple left, but there are.
Oh, yeah.
God.
Don't you dare bring this back.
Oh my
Don't
god.
you-
I use it too. I'm on your side. I use it too.
I
Wait,
had
what was
this
the original
argument last
argument?
week again. I had this argument
Because
again.
when I think
Wasn't
of
this
couple,
like the
I always
first
think- I
week
also
of
think
class?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
something
really
like
early
that.
on.
Yeah.
I keep having.
It's people keep arguing with you because you're wrong.
Wait, I don't know. What did you say it was? A couple refers only to two?
I use it interchangeably with a few. I use couple and few
Oh, okay.
interchangeably.
Right. So you'll do 2 or more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone else will do too.
But everyone else does just 2. No more than 2, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Because a couple is two.
I know a couple is 2. But like, you don't use, like you're not, I don't know, you really have that solid of linguistic categories?
Apparently.
I guess, okay. Yeah, no, I use it like you do, something like, I'm just like, yeah, there's a couple of them. It could mean like 7, I don't know. Okay, so, have you all not done, is it safe if I pull from 30 to 35 for the races that,
I think 31 to 35.
31 to 35?
Yeah.
No one's done it that far, 7.3.3?
No.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Ooh, actually, shit. Oh, we're gonna do a multi-part race.
Oh no.
Oh, we're gonna do 7.3.4. Everybody have their books?
Yes.
We're gonna make teams.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I
7,
can't tell if
8,
you're
9,
happy
10.
or you're not.
I'm happy. We'll have a team.
2 teams of 5. Organize yourselves into teams. Actually, no, that might create some sort of inequality. I will do this. Are you ready? Team 1 and team 2, remember? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
1, 2.
Yeah. You're 2. Is that 5 each? Yeah.
Yeah, that should be.
Good. Okay, so 7, the first one we're going to do, we're going to kind of do this like a multi-stage race. So teams assemble together. Get together real quick.
I'll come over.
One's going over there.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, let's, 1's over there, 2's over there.
I'm just leaving my stuff. Do you mind if I sit directly in this chair? Or do you want?
That chair is a little,
I guess over here.
tricky though.
Oh, wow.
I don't know
go, got it, team. Let's go. The team captain's out here. About to carry.
Okay, 7.3.4.
The reason I upload to the board,
Yeah, it's the
And it's not. Yes, do what you need.
I'm great at monsters.
You're the Morgan, that one.
I'm so good. You guys are so bad.
that
Imagine how being on team one, dude.
12 rules. Okay, here's how this race is going to work. You ready? We're going to do 7.3.4, and we're going to, as teams, I'm going to assign each team 2 translation and proof problems. So you're going to have the same ones. So we're going to do, the first ones will be 4 and 5. So both of your teams will have problems 4 and 5, 7.3.4. And as a team, you need to come up with a correct translation of the arguments. And then once you as a team have the translation done, you're going to send somebody up and run it and write it on the board.
Oh.
Now the first team to get the translation done gets a point, right? So it's like a race to get these 2 translations done and put on the board. Make sense?
Yes.
And it's just a translation, it's not the proof.
Just translation. When you're done with the translation, you can then move to the proof, right? And then you'll work the proofs out as a team. You'll send somebody up to do the proof, and then you get a point for being the first to complete the proof. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Any questions?
So start here, go back, come here, go back.
Yes.
Can we work on the proof while they're writing the translation?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, the translation has to be done before you start working on a proof.
Do we want to have 2 of us up here so we're...
Do you have a question? Questions? Anyone? Okay, now here's the catch.
Oh, yeah, I'll go up there. Yeah, I'll go.
If your team makes a mistake in the translation, you automatically do not get any points. So your team has to make sure this translation is correct. If you make a mistake in the proof, you do not get any points for that. Got it? Okay.
Who wants to take 5? Which one is 4? Wait, can we split up?
I don't think we can.
Or do we have to do it one at a time?
how many do we
You can split up, whatever you think is faster. Yeah. So 4 and 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, this is another story.
Okay, no, it starts
Alright, we
here.
got 4.
They cheated.
Hey! Not cheating, I'm using our resources. Alright, so y'all wanna work on 5? Everybody else want 5?
Yeah, we can do 5.
I guess we're not going to work on that.
Wait, don't you have
So, here, do you want to write it? Structural engineering will be successful. So, that'll be E. So, E
It's right there.
and producing. So, it's E. It's like that. Because of the comma. So, E.
And to clarify, you cannot put the translations or proofs up individually. They have to both be done. And then once you're both done, once the teams are done with both proofs, then you send somebody up to put the proofs down.
Okay.
Okay.
Can't do proofs yet till they're both done and on the board.
Okay, both.
Yep. So you gotta wait.
I thought you said that we had to wait until they're, okay.
Yeah, once both your translations are done and on the board, then you can start doing proofs. translate 4 and 5.
Okay.
Once you're both as a team done with 4 and 5,
You put.
then you can put it on the board.
So I'll read out the last line. So either mosquito genes can be cloned, or mosquitoes will become resistant to all insecticides.
I'll add one more element too. The one who can do the proof correctly in the shortest amount of steps will get the point for the proof.
Either
Short,
mosquitoes
so take the least amount of steps to get
or
there.
mosquitoes will become resistant to all insecticides, and the instance of anaphylaxis will increase. If either mosquito genes can be cloned, or the instance of blank increases, then mosquitoes will not become resistant to all insecticides. Therefore, either mosquito genes can be cloned, or mosquitoes will not become resistant.
That's good.
Okay, so let's copy, everyone can copy just to decide on those. And, okay, read it on.
G.
G.
Or parentheses.
Just producing food.
Yeah, no, I'm really hitting my brain together, like, hell to the metal to get that done. Oh, no, what's going on, team two? Bunch of bozos over there.
Arrow, not R.
Yeah. I think I agree with that.
Okay.
So the people who
Let's go.
translated both
Those already
are
got
at the
both.
same time now?
Yeah, if you're done with both, you can put the translation on.
Do we have to send one or two people?
You can send whoever you want. That's fine.
I'll do
You're
it.
done, you have good handwriting.
There's only one marker.
There's a.
Draw in Sharpie.
I don't think the school will be happy
You
with
might,
that.
team 1 might want to send somebody else up.
Yeah, is there another good marker?
Noah.
Oh, what a throw. What a catch.
Wait, I don't have the sheet. I'll just look at it.
Yeah, they rigged it.
And then
I'm
someone
gonna
will
need
come up and.
Oh, wait, we only need a translate to start?
So,
Oh, never mind. Yeah,
what do we do now? Now
you already got something like that.
Yeah, now once they're both up, then you can start doing proofs of the team. I think the same thing will apply.
Oh, yeah, we're working on number 5 proof right now. What do you think?
Oh my god, they beat you so close. So they get a tentative point for
Let's
that.
go, team. What?
Like they got it up like a second before you did.
Sorry, you guys didn't get that lead on you.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was who won lead, actually?
Alright.
So you got one. Team 1 has one tentative point for translation, but they might lose it if they're wrong.
We're not wrong.
So are we pausing or can we keep working?
You can keep working on proofs. Yeah.
So.
The least number of steps wins a point as well.
Well then.
Yeah, I'll triple check this, dude. Alright, let's put our brains together here, boss. Ready for this? Yes. Alright. So, 6 or R and G or E.
Wait, I have a question.
Mhm.
So we're trying to do it in as few steps as possible. Does that mean we can combine steps?
No, no combinations of steps. You have to use the rules as exactly written.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Okay.
Aw, man.
Oh, maybe that's faster. But you would still want to do it.
Whatever, that's right, we're moving on. I already figured out 2 steps that are reversible. For their cap.
Okay, you saw that nobody else saw that one guy
So
and
they
we'll
cap.
see.
See who's shorter.
Y'all not in cap over there for a reason? That's not bad. Like these two get next.
Standing
You have to put both proofs up at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if mine's correct, though. That's the big problem. So, you know what I'm talking about? Pretty sure. At least 14% sure. Yeah, I thought I asked if y'all were in the honors program. I'm like, damn, we're all in the honors program. Have you met with your advisor yet?
How'd you get 3?
Yeah.
How'd you get the first?
Alright, go ahead.
Distribution.
Yeah, this.
Oh, well, let's just do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, we here?
Yeah, let's go, dude.
That's mine, dude. Nah, that's mine.
You did.
Come on! Let's go, team 2!
Team 1.
Snap up! Woo!
I need
Oh
my
man,
team
you guys
back.
write so fast.
Write like you've never written before.
Yes,
Actually,
yes,
write
yes,
like you're a very
yes, yes,
experienced
yes.
writer.
G.
As soon as you're done with your proof, shout out done.
Do I have to number it?
Yes.
Better write faster, Logan.
Come on!
Done.
Done.
I think I messed up.
Come on! Keep going!
I had a hard time reading my own handwriting.
Done.
I was
Oh,
panicking.
it's time for the last two.
Oh, did we not?
You got
Get
it,
her
you got
done!
it. Do your
Come on, team 2.
He doesn't have
I
to
need,
stop now!
I need
Let's
this.
get her done!
Done!
Stakes are high.
He ain't done yet.
But they might be wrong. They might be wrong.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, we got it.
Okay, so team 2.
He's not done writing his
Oh,
stuff
wait.
down.
What?
He's still writing his stuff.
Oh, shit. Team 2 is falling
They're cheating.
down.
Cheating.
Oh.
Come on, you got it!
How many steps did y'all
Come
have?
on, team 2. I
Let's
believe.
go.
I
Get her
believe.
done!
Alright, done.
Oh! We tried.
Hey, they might be wrong.
Oh, so I would almost guarantee you.
Please, please, we're not wrong. Please.
Okay.
Feel pretty confident.
You'll get him next time, Chad.
Gonna just verify comparisons.
I don't know. This is great.
Oh, that's tough.
We almost had him, team.
I mean, hey, we might be right.
I think we still stand a good chance.
Why did y'all have 15 steps? Oh, it's 10.
We had 7, bro.
Well, no, number 5.
Oh! We beat him on the second one. I can almost guarantee you that.
You're competitive.
I'm confident. I can only see adding one more. Because they cheated one more step.
We cheated.
Covering up the mistakes.
I'm sorry. I
Let's
failed
see.
y'all.
You did not fail.
I'm just making sure I got it. But there's a bunch of extra steps.
All right, my 2
But it
teams.
depends on what's correct.
Oh, yeah. Ours definitely is incorrect. But hey. We'll get him next time, team. Or we'll get him right now. I don't know.
So right now, tentatively, we have a tie in terms of just who got it done first. You guys did the translation section first, so that's 1 point. You guys did the proof section first, so that's 1 point. But you might lose those if you're incorrect, right? Let me grade them. G or R, G or R, G or M. Ooh. Well, I guess it doesn't matter because team 2 wasn't gonna get the point anyway. But if it was a tie, I would have given this to team 1 because they have the correct order in the translation.
You are going to. Wait,
Well, they're gonna get it anyway because you're both still really correct, but they beat you to it anyway, right? So they get 1 point.
I don't think that theirs is correct, actually.
The correct order.
We're just talking about the translation.
We're not
Right?
talking about it.
Right, just the translation.
I guess not.
What's not correct?
I'm not gonna say now. I mean, I thought we were talking about the proof, not just the translation.
Oh, okay, yeah. So let me just verify this one.
What's incorrect about it? On your side.
Wait, because I put the M before the G. Is that what?
I think
Yeah,
so.
that's the only reason. And as written, it's G before M in the books.
Just take it off.
Okay, good. Yeah, these are both correct. So team 1 has 1 point. Let's look at these proofs.
Hers is probably correct, mine probably isn't.
We were just using commutativity on that one, on ours.
Well, I'll get yours first because if you get this right, then you get the point.
Dude, I have way too many Sims in here. Looking at it.
Well, I was trying to, I can't tell what
Because
happened.
here's my understanding. The book has a lot of BS about community. You don't need any of that. The order doesn't matter. So then you don't have to have that one, you don't have to have that one. Somehow not arcane. So I was like, there. I don't know.
I know, I would have to like actually sit down and have a little bit of time. to
It was a gamble.
Yeah.
Will it pay off?
It's a gamble.
I don't know.
Who knows?
We got the two.
We went for the 2 point
I saw
conversion.
We did. We went for the 2 points.
We're honestly hoping for a tie right now. That's what we're hoping.
No, we're hoping for a win. We're Sean McDermott, Buffalo Bills, give it to Josh Allen on 4th and 1. It might not work.
That won't work.
It didn't work against the Titans, but that's alright.
Same with the Chargers, 4th down on the Ravens.
Okay, the Chargers literally are awful. Justin Herbert is not all that. He was MVP. Now he's terrible. He threw like 4 interceptions. Absolutely atrocious. Ruined my fantasy day.
No,
Oh, that's why you're.
Yeah, it's Mike Williams, bro.
So that's me with
I
Prescott
don't
all
think
the
so.
time. Like, just, how do
Are
you
you a Cowboys
fumble?
fan?
No,
Okay, good.
I'm a Chargers fan.
Oh. Debatably, that's worse.
But, you know, I had Prescott for my fantasy, and he was not doing too good.
That's a questionable decision.
You might not
I mean, I drafted my boy Josh in the 4th round, so I might have reached a little bit, but he's good.
He's turned out pretty good.
I like that because it's also like, well, yeah, maybe she did it, but she's still good. I liked how it
Is that about commutative?
It was like, there's so much mystery surrounding this girl.
and it was originally good, but I was like,
We got to more than this. Bonus round, we did more than
to like remove it for myself.
For all the marbles.
And
Yeah,
it's
winner
so
take all. Yeah, I'm about to go all in. I like made all my money on the poker table. I'm just gonna go all in on one hand of blackjack. Call it a day. Is this correct?
Someone stayed the night.
I forgot a step.
Oh.
Well, so it's technically correct, right? But I'm being a stickler about
The
who
commutative.
followed the rules as perfectly, right?
Like
And
flipping the
who's that-
order of BNE to ENE.
Exactly. You definitely beat them in length, though, for sure.
But we followed all the book rules.
Well, let's see.
It was only one
How many
step I
steps
missed.
do y'all have?
No, two.
No wonder.
Because the conclusion was never derived.
Oh, you have to write the conclusion on there?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
When I
because
put what it was?
you have to conjoin. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Was that not
Oh, I'm gonna have to think about
Oh,
that.
okay, I didn't know.
Doesn't count.
Okay.
It'd still only be 12 steps.
Oh yeah, I mean you still got to beat online, so.
Who wrote this one?
I did.
What's this?
Commutative, C-O-M.
This is con.
Con artist.
So you lose on that.
The C and the, or the O and the
Mhm.
M are connected.
Yep.
The marker is crappy.
Sure. Good. Good. Good.
There shouldn't be. We already lost.
That's not true.
The fact that I put a proof up means we're good.
Whatever.
Communication,
I
good.
have absolutely no confidence in whatever.
Commutativity.
So as long as you understand that, then you're good.
Good.
Well, then that's why I say we should hope for a tie.
Well, yeah, I always hope for a dub though. A tie is basically a loss with extra steps.
Like me.
And not E and not M.
A tie's a half win.
Which is a loss. You're the first, you're last, man.
And if you're last, you're first.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, the third is the best, and they get the treasure chest.
No, but like, honestly, if I like was in the Olympics and I got bronze, I'd be happy.
Well, that's like different though.
Yeah, I'd be happier with that than a silver.
What?
Well, because you're like, oh, like, it wasn't like silver, because you wanted like second, but I still like,
So you're a podium person? You're like, alright, as long as I make the top 3, I'm good.
I have no idea because I don't do that.
Silver, then you hit him with the left leg.
That seems illegal.
Oh yeah, it is. You gotta do what you gotta do.
I see what you're saying though. So Sophia, like silver is like, oh, you're so close to first. It's like when you make a 99 on a test.
Yes.
Yeah, I relate to that one.
You're the honors class.
I think it's preference. My highest grade is like a 92 in school.
No, honestly, I prefer 5 for one of the last.
Me
ones.
too.
Because one of the well-formed forms, I was like, I don't know, I'm not sure. And I waffled, and I finally went with the well-formed one.
The not parenthesis P.
I think so.
That's the one I missed too. There's a 99.54, and I was like, that's a 100.
That really is not my business. Because when it came back that day, I'm so glad there's the instant feedback for most of the
When the
answers.
last one did,
But I was like, okay, mathematically, it's
I know, that's what, I messed it up on line like 2, and there's just all.
Okay,
Yeah, but not.
that's the one that, yeah. So it's like, oh, and math parentheses don't matter. Like, it's just there. It's to be clear.
Definitely it matters a lot.
okay, so Team 1 has 1 point for finishing the translations faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Team 2, well, I haven't done these ones yet. I'm going to give a point for each of these. Team 2 has a point for doing this faster and substantively correctly. One for you. Team 2 loses a point, though, for skipping steps.
Oh.
The -1. Team 1 loses 10 points just because I don't like them.
Yes.
But you are leaving your M twice.
No, what if
That's DN. That said DN until I
It's
fixed
the
it.
mark.
And that said con. Yes.
one of them's supposed to be
I'm not
double,
going to take a point off for something that
something's,
stupid.
one of them's supposed to be double negation, not Morgan.
Yes, Morgan, bro.
Oh, you're right.
Yes, I am
You're right. I apologize.
Yeah, you better.
Dang it. Professor, you're gonna hate me, but I have charcuterie boards that I need to
You're
make.
good. All right, class dismissed. I'm going to add these up real quick and then we're done.
Doug, we just knocked out the second first.
Sure.
Yeah, we win. We don't need to do that. We're all in
Here
here.
are, not R1 distribution.
Don't tell, yeah.
Wait, distribution?
I get a point for handwriting.
You should decide.
What do you mean, dude? Clearly,
I'll just say the honors.
Tim?
I also got the honors because I love the running
Yeah,
together.
bro, I've literally gotten points taken off my paper for my handwriting. She's like, I could read this, but I
I'll see it.
that's your fault then, honestly.
Team 1 wins overall because there's a mistake in this one.
Let's go.
Was just a wrong distribution call. So team 1 wins by 1 point.
We get extra credit.
You get extra credit? No.
Man.
You can have plenty of extra credit for bringing the arguments
I
to
can't
class.
make that stuff up.
You
I don't have the
can try.
creativity.
But there was one I
Make it about sports, I don't know.
Sports.
and like the honest question.
Make it
How
about
long does it have to
sports.
be?
No requirement.
Oh, alright.
Yeah, do whatever you want. There's still time. I mean, we've still got 2 weeks to do it, so,
Oh, we got time.
yeah.
See you on Tuesday.
See ya. See ya.